To another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Wednesday, late afternoon, early evening, depending when it is that you're actually watching and seeing this. I hope the day's treated you well. You've looked after yourself. You stayed out of that miserable weather. Sorry, my window's over there. The miserable weather. You've had a good day at work, and if it's not been a good day, trust me, tomorrow is a new day. And if you're going to the gym, you're working hard, and if you're not going and absolutely blasting yourself, I'll know about it. In this video, we're talking around really interesting reports on the striker position that we're interested in, and one of the sort of the quotas that we are sort of attached to that role and what we are looking for. So that will be a bit of a eye-opening report. As well as that, we're talking about a club potentially making an offer to sign Bryan Gil. So plenty to get into, plenty to talk about. Just want to say though, if you're new, give us a subscribe. Very much welcome to join us for the journey. And let's start with the striker role, okay? Because I think that's what everyone's really here from. And it came from Team Talk, and they were talking about, you know, Spurs wanting multiple different players and things like that. And I kind of just sort of skipped through really the positions that where I don't think Spurs will be going. You know, there's talk about, you know, us being interested in Boca Juniors, Christian Medina. I mean, if it's one of those that we buy and loan out, maybe. But, you know, I think Spurs are going to be going homegrown options at centre-half through Kelly or Adarabayo, personally. So I want to talk about the striker situation. So it said that Tottenham Hotspur could revamp their squad with 3 impressive signings this summer, with centre-forward the first position with Ange Postecoglou wants to bolster. Tottenham have plenty of strikers on their radar, including Ivan Toney of Brentford, Feyenoord ace Santiago Jimenez, and Mohamed Amoura, who represents Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium. On Monday, reports in Amoura's home country, Algeria, claims Tottenham has submitted a concrete offer. Let's just wait and see on that one. All right. So it said, according to Football Insider, Postecoglou actually wants a proven Premier League goalscorer to join his ranks with Bournemouth's Dominic Solanke, the favoured option. Tottenham hold concrete interest in Solanke amid his best ever season at senior level. So far, the Englishman has netted 19 in 36 appearances, which includes a great finish in the recent 2-2 draw with Man United. He also said that West Ham and Arsenal are both monitoring his situation. It goes on to kind of say that if the offer was about 50 million or more, they'd probably sanction his exit. Now, let me talk first. I've gone into Kevin De Bruyne mode again, haven't I? I'm being a fool. Let me talk really about Dominic Solanke. I think there's a few of you that are like, yeah, keen. There's a few of you going, nah, I'm not as interested. There's not enough body of work, which I think is a fair argument. I do. The only thing I'd say is when a few of you say that and then go, but I want this guy who's not in a top 5 league, or I want this guy who's in top 5 league, who's only had his first good season at a club. Just remember how that argument fits both ways, all right? And it's not to say the players that you're arguing for is not a good player, by the way. Just remember that. On that attribute that, you know, supposedly we're looking for as a Prem proven striker, I think it's more about we know what we're getting, and it's a safer option in terms of the investment that we know we're going to get goals. Yeah, that's why we've been linked with an Ivan Toney. That's why we've been, in the past, linked with an Ollie Watkins, who people think would go in for Ollie Watkins, who signed a new deal back in October. And, you know, well, we're 5th, they're 4th. So if they get Champions League football, we get Europa League football. I don't think he'd want to come to us. But, you know, we're also linked with Dominic Solanke. And it's because I'm not really thinking about the homegrown side of things. I just think they have proven they can score goals in the Premier League. You know, I think that's really where they're looking. I think, you know, when people talk about Dusan Vlahovic, you know, obviously a guy with potentially untapped potential. I think, you know, what we saw at Fiorentina was a guy who was potentially the best player in Serie A. And since then, it's not been as good. Obviously, Juventus maybe not playing the way that suits Dusan, obviously. But I was looking and, you know, he's got, you know, 15 goals a season in 27 games. Dominic's got, you know, obviously a couple more than that, but Dominic's got, I think it's something like he's got 4 more goals and assists in about 6 more games than Dusan Vlahovic. I mean, last season he had 7 goals, 7 assists. I think Dusan Vlahovic had about 14 goals, 3 assists, but played, I think, 7 games more. So there's not a lot between them in that regards, you know. So when I think about it, I think Ivan Toney probably is the number 1 guy, but there's obviously question marks about characters and things, and I get that, and I don't think Ivan Toney's going to sit there and think, oh, that's not fair, you know, da-da-da-da-da. I think that's obviously a legitimate case. And I think, you know, had that but not been there, I don't think Ivan Toney would be on the market this summer, because I think he's already probably got his move sorted to an Arsenal, to be honest. But obviously, Victor Gyökeres over at Sporting Lisbon. You've obviously got Victor Osimhen at PSG, which obviously, not PSG, Napoli, but PSG are quite keen on him as well. Chelsea, what's happening with their striker situation? I think we've seen, had they had an out-and-out number 9, they probably would actually be fighting for top 4 right now, and I genuinely believe that. They may not be 4th or 5th. They might be, 3 or 4 points off Spurs, but I think you can kind of see an out-and-out striker would probably fix a lot of their problems. But for us, I think an out-and-out striker might fix a lot of our problems, because you might have then Sonny out on the left, which people think that it's not worked, and I kind of get that, but I think we didn't really have that much body of work when he was out on the left. It has sort of worked when he was a striker, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think there's a key thing that we're looking at a striker that maybe is different than what we have in a Richarlison or a Sonny. So I totally get that. Let's talk Bryan Gil really quickly. So it came from 1908. Got the wrong one. God, I'm looking at the wrong one here. 1908, and it said that Feyenoord have made an official bid for Bryan Gil, and talks are now underway with Spurs over a permanent transfer for the winger. So I was thinking about this one, because I think I can already see where this conversation is going to go. Use him in a deal to sign Santiago Jimenez. I can already see it. There's probably going to be someone that says it, and it's an obvious 2 and 2 together, right? I don't think it's. I'm not even going to poo-poo the idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. My key thing with Bryan Gil is, one, we want a permanent transfer, and ideally, I can't lie, get it done quickly. He's not going to be going off to any European championships. He's not going off to any international football this summer. So the idea that you can get that done quickly, it's definitely on the table. I think, he would kill the Eredivisie, in my opinion. I think he'd be great out of the Eredivisie. And if Spurs can get, 5 million for that, and just kind of wash their hands of that deal, just take your losses, bite the bullet, and move on, and just kind of focus on you and using that squad spot for someone else. They talk. I know it's not keen for everyone, by the way, before you ram the comment section with your thoughts on Timo Werner, but let's say if they did get Timo Werner permanently, you would just kind of go, well, Bryan Gil spot, you take that, next position up, let's go again. The reason why they moved Adar, they moved the Lloris, they moved the Perisic, was to free up these squad spots, really, and that's why I think you'll maybe find 1 or 2 more leaving the first team squad this summer to free up more spots in the squad. So we'll keep an eye on Bryan. I think we can kind of expect he's going to be moving on, but we shall wait and see. But anyway, guys, in the video, I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope in the comment section, hit me with your thoughts and thoughts, not thoughts. We're not fighting. Thoughts and feelings about Bryan Gil to Fiorentina on Feyenoord on a permanent deal, as well as your thoughts and feelings about that article surrounding Spurs wanting a more Prem-proven striker, and Dominic Solanke, Ivan Toney being maybe 2 of those sort of names. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, then the video, and I will see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.